So our plans are to meet up with our friends in Bratislava, Slovakia, which is only a couple hours drive along the Danube River north of Budapest. But we moved through southern Austria much quicker than we thought, and we still have about 10 days before we meet up with them. So we've decided to tour through Hungary and explore more of the country, and then turn north and cross the border into eastern Slovakia near the city of Kosice, K-O-S-I-C-E. From there, we'll be able to travel north and west with some time to see parts of Slovakia before we meet up with them in the capital of Bratislava.
So that's what we're doing today. We're heading east about 2 hours to Hortogaby National Park, which is Hungary's largest national park, and it's also the lowest populated area in the entire country. And as we head east from Budapest, we're learning Hungary is very flat, much like the Great Plains in the US. In this area, it looks like a lot of barley, wheat, various grasses for hay, and occasionally poppy fields. Now, we haven't done much research on much of our new route, including this stop here in Hortogaby, but we do know it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, due in part to the 2,000-year unique farming culture with Hungarian cow, sheep, and pigs, and in part due to the Biosphere Reserve, which plays host to many species of birds, including swans, cranes, owls, and many more. It's time to get lost in the nature. Let's go, guys. There's the little men. This is the bridge.
Okay.
In the picture, I believe. Can't see the bridge. Nice little park to walk around right here. As we arrive in Hortogaby, first we cross a historic and iconic 9-arch bridge into a rural village, and immediately see a big park with several statues, a shepherd museum, a visitor center, a big restaurant/hotel, and a cool looking church. Having no idea where to start, I went to the visitor center and then the shepherd's museum, and quickly learned that we are in a large alkaline steppe or grassland, which is sometimes called badlands, because the soil is just not good for growing plants. However, here there's a fescue grass, a type of hardy alkaline tolerant grass endemic to this area, and turns out it's very nutritious for grazing animals. And thousands of years ago, shepherders raised several species of livestock, including the Hortogaby Rauka sheep, the Angelica pig, the Hungarian great cattle, and Hungarian water buffalo, just to name a few. Now, this is a harsh environment, especially in the wintertime. The freezing, the wind, and the snow can be brutal. Yet I learned how people thrived in this environment with the production of high-quality fiber used to make colorful dress, warm clothes for the winter, and of course, stylish hats. But like most of Europe, this land was ravaged by wars and changes in ownership, and the Hortogaby way of life and even the balance of nature of this unique steppe environment was threatened to near extinction. Today, much of the land has been or is being restored, and some of the historical farming practices as well as the species of livestock have been saved from the brink of extinction. And the really good news is that the grazing animals are beneficial to the steppe and help it to thrive to make this a natural wonder in Europe. The wetlands, fish ponds, and marshes are home to so many species of birds and other wildlife. And because of the importance of the migration passage for birds, this is a special and unique place on our planet that few people know about and even fewer will even visit. With a little bit of knowledge gained from the museums, it's time to go out into the nature and find some of these Hungarian animals and to see the shepherds and herd dogs in action. And you guys know me, I'm going looking for some birds too. So let's go explore the Hungarian plains. For those of you who know me, you know I couldn't just mill around the museum and learn all about the steppe and this area and the region and the significance of it without actually coming out and seeing it, especially given the opportunity that there might be some birds here. Now, the biggest time to see the birds out here is migration season in the fall. And then it is like National Geographic, like birds everywhere, big, huge, giant flocks. So I'm not exactly sure what we'll see today. But there's a little forest right here we can walk around. And then tomorrow there's a couple other little birding areas we're gonna go see. So let's enjoy the nature. And this forest is full of blackbirds. And these blackbirds are rooks. And they have a really long beak. Other than that, they kind of just look like giant blackbirds. And I might have to cut this little hike short because it looks like the rain is coming and I can actually feel the cool air and these clouds are over top of me and I don't think I have long. So unfortunately I didn't even really get any good shots of these birds, but I gotta hustle back to the van. All right guys, I am by the van, the wind is picked up. It still has not rained, but I am ready to hand my camera in if I need to. But I've been shooting out here over the fields and I can see a big herd of cattle over there. Now they said I could walk to the forest on the right, but not to the cows on the left. But the cows on the left, I was looking through them with the big lens and I can see the bells. And I forgot to tell you, when I was at the Shepherd's Museum, they had a whole thing on the bells. And you would think they would put the bells on the livestock so that they could find it if it kind of straggled off. At least that's what I always thought. And that is a part of it, but it's not the main part of it. They'll put certain tone bells on different animals. And so if it's a leader animal, always kind of finding the good grass, always leading, he'll have a certain tone. If it's a lollygagger or something like that, it'll get a different tone. And so different cattle, different sheep, different goats get different bells. And really it sounds kind of melodic out there to hear all the different tones of bells. But not only does the shepherds and the shepherd's dog understand those bells, but the livestock does as well. And so without looking up, they can always just follow the leader's bell and find the best grass. And so the shepherd's kind of always watching and using that bell system, and it trains the animals. So even they know where the lollygaggers are, and the animals kind of know this. It makes for more and effective and efficient feeding. And oh, by the way, if one of them wanders off, it also helps them locate it. But with these dogs, these are professional dogs, and it is their life to guard the shepherd and to guard the wild livestock, and they look after them and they corral them and they move them to the best food. And anyway, so one's likely not to get off, but if it does, you can always hear the bell. I'm off running around in the jungle, in the forest. And Snow's over here doing some van chores. Good job, Snow.
Trying to clean our screen door. It gets pretty dirty.
Cleaning's a never-ending chore around here. Good morning, everyone. This was our overnight camp spot right here in front of this bird sanctuary. And the kitties got a little walk last night before it rained. But this morning I'm headed out to go looking for some birds. Now, supposedly there's a 5-kilometer little walkway or pathway that comes out here. I think it goes through the water and the trees. So hopefully we'll see some birds and maybe even some other wildlife, I don't know. But I definitely think we'll see some kitties because they've been kind of hovering around the van. And there's one, and there's another. And, well, G knows they're there. Let's go check this place out. All right, I've stumbled up on some kind of water critter, and he just heard my voice, but it's like a little beaver, except he's got a long skinny tail, and he's just back in here chewing on the grass, eating grass this morning. You can see his little hands as he eats the grass. He chomps on the grass, but he's just moving around this little pond here. There's all sorts of little fish ponds. Oh, I think I've startled him a little bit. He's trying to get out of the way. So cool. All right, we've been seeing some cool stuff on this short little trail. Look at all the butterflies on this purple flower right here. There's even a little red bug there if you can see it. But we've gotten to some kind of tower, and it is nesting time. And you can see some of the cool birds that are nesting and that are here. The reed warblers, all these birds. My app is picking up, but I just can't see them. They hide in these little reeds and whatnot. We're gonna get up here and see what kind of view we can get from up here on this little tower. So this is a big gaggle of geese, and if you look at them, there's just a big line of them, but one of them's the mama, and the other ones, well, they're pretty grown up, but they're still adolescents, and they're all following along. Oh, look at those other birds. I love the way they take off and they run on the water. So many different birds out here, guys. Guess if you're just standing here kind of gazing across the water, maybe a lot of them look the same, but they're so different and so beautiful. And what they do, what they eat, how they behave, their colors. What a beautiful morning.
Sounds of the woodwork in the day, lulled by the moonlight, have all passed away. Beautiful dreamer, queen of my soul, list while I believe the soft melody. Gone are the cares of life's busy song. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me. Beautiful dreamer, out on the
So I walked up here and there was a bunch of swallows. It looked like they were kind of taking bird baths. It rained last night and there's some puddles along the side of the road. And the longer I sat here and watched them and filmed them, I realized that they have bird nests up along this building, up along the ledge, if you can see there. And so I believe they're coming down here and collecting the mud from the edge of these puddles, and then they're going up there and they're making their nests right there on that roof. And it is time for them to have babies, and so they're definitely nesting. And what a beautiful sight.
Good morning, guys. First, I hope you have enjoyed touring this area with Curt, but I wanted to pop in here and let you guys know that I wore myself out pretty good walking around the city of Budapest, and I just needed a day and a half or so to rest. So I have been MIA while Curt's been taking you on these tours, but I do feel much better this morning. And for those of you that don't know, I am diagnosed with heart failure, and my heart is about half as strong as a normal heart. So if I do too much, I get pretty tired. And it's normal that even if I don't choose to do too much, sometimes I just have days where I don't feel good and I need to rest. And that's what's been going on, and I wanted to explain it to you in case any of you that do know about my diagnosis were worried about me. Don't worry about me. I was taking care of myself and resting. But we're on the road this morning after Curt's walk. We have one more stop out here in this bird haven area that we're in, and we have spotted these cool cows with these crazy long horns that just point straight up. It is amazing. Curt hopped out with the Sony to get them.
So I just wanted to say, on many levels, this place is magical. You know, we're always driving through the farm countries and the rural areas of every country we visit, and we always visit that. And a couple days ago, we were in Budapest, and we talk about how challenging cities are to do, but we love to come out to the farmland. So when we get to the cities, we see where the food comes from. We see the culture of the country here in the farmland. And we went to the museum, the Shepherd's Museum, and I learned about the livestock and the importance of the steppe and the grasslands here. And then we were pulling out of birding, and we saw this big herd of these cattle. And the things I learned in a museum all came into play. We could see the shepherd up on the tracks watching over the herd. He had 2 herd dogs with him. We saw them in action. Also, we learned about the bells that they put around the livestock neck. And it's just not the cows, it's also the sheep and the other animals as well. But we could see the bells, and we could see how all the cattle were kind of following the bells to find the best food. And it was just a magical experience. These cows are some of the biggest we've ever seen. They're huge with their big, massive horns, and it was just a magical experience.
Did you notice that some of the cows had little tips on the tip of their horns? I'm guessing maybe those were bulls or cows that have shown to be more aggressive, but they have little caps, little protectors on their tips.
Now, one of the things about this region is in the wintertime, this steppe, this whole grassland will freeze over, ice over, and snow over. And since this is a major grazing area for the Hungarian livestock, they have a lot of hay for feeding the livestock during the winter. And you can see all the rolls up there. But at all these farms, they have huge piles of bales of hay.
All right, our final stop in this area.
He's here, I heard him.
Oh, Curt's hurting.
Let me get my camera.
We had heard this bird was nesting here. And Curt says he's here. Let's see if we can find him. He's got some pretty colors on him, doesn't he? So here is a picture of him in case we don't get him. He is the European bee eater. There's a picture of some baby ones in the nest. Looks like they also eat little snakes.
can't see it.
There goes my bird watcher, deep into the woods. Go get him, Curdy. Curt! Back here! So I went on a walk, found another little trail through the woods. I think I found them. I gotta go back up here and try to find Curt. Ask if they nest in the dirt. If they do, I definitely found them. Hey, Curt! Curt! Do they nest in the dirt? If they do, I found them. I'm looking for him. I can't find him. I guess I'll go back to the van. I don't know if he's found the birds or not. I think I found them. If they're not here, then he needs to check the other place. I finally found him and convinced him that even though he's the bird hunter, that I had found him.
Not true.
So let's see if we can get a big camera on these guys. There's a ton of them.
Gorgeous bird. He's gotta be.
The bucket case slid down on the dash.
One's about to get up. That one on the left. There he goes. Oh, there they're both up. Don't fall out, buddy.
If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we put out new videos. And don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram to see what's going on in between videos. Cheers, guys!